Good evening, good evening. Come on into the room, Saints. Let us know where you are watching from. We're not going to be with you long on tonight, but we're excited to talk about the One Voice Gospel Choir Reunion at Embrace Conference Orlando 2026. My name is Bree. I have the privilege and honor of serving as the pastor and executive director of the Embrace Collective, and we exist to connect people to Christ-centered communities through worship, discipleship, and authentic connection. We envision a movement where people find belonging in healthy churches and where churches flourish in their mission through collaboration and support. And we're so glad you decided to join us on this evening. I'm going to bring on my two brothers. To call them anything other than family would be disrespectful to them. But let's bring on Dr. Michael Dorsey and Pastor Justin Spann. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Welcome, welcome. How's y'all day been so far? It's Sunday, the Lord's Day.
Oh
So
yes,
how was
long
today?
day.
Oh
It was
yes.
a long day, very long day. Matter of fact, I just got up from my church nap. After
Oh,
church
praise
nap.
God. That means you're gonna sleep good tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
how about y'all tell us a little bit about One Voice? I'm sure there's some One Voice folks watching. Mike, you are the co-founder of One Voice Gospel Choir at Cedarville University. Talk to us a little bit about what made One Voice even come to your mind to start.
Oh man. So what's up, everybody? Mike Dorsey here. Uh, Basically, what happened was we all have something in common. We were students at Cedarville University. And we were some of the what I like to say the few raisins in the cornflakes, if you know what I mean. And so then after I graduated, right before I graduated, I was offered a position there. So I actually worked in admissions. And right before I graduated, pulled together some of our students of color, particularly our Black students, and say, hey, what are some things you would like us to work on and make a priority as we're going into this initiative? And one of the things they talked about was, it would be nice for us to actually how it started was they were just like, it would be nice to sing some gospel music during chapel. Cause we had to go to
Right.
chapel every day.
Every day.
And so it was like, all right. So then, one of the students who actually was a year behind me, April, she and I kind of talked about it a little bit. And then in the fall, we went to a conference at Nyack College called NICMSLIC, National Christian Student Multicultural Leadership Conference. And a couple of other Christian colleges had gospel choirs. And we were like, you think we could do it? And she was like, why not? Let's try. And so we said, all right, as soon as our winter break was over, we were going to, call for a reunion. And the rest is history. We held our breath. We were like, maybe 20 people will show up.
Right.
And a little over 60 people showed up for the first rehearsal. And the gospel choir was born. And it was one of those things where, we just didn't know. And it
Right.
just grew like wildfire. So it was powerful.
I love it. So talk about the connection then. So you were the co-founder, but
Mhm.
then when I came to Cedarville, so for those of you who don't know, Mike actually recruited me to Cedarville University. So he recruited me to Cedarville University, but at that time, Justin was the director. So talk about that
Yeah.
off, and then Justin, you talk about taking the choir to the next level.
Yeah. So Justin, Justin became my protege, so to speak, right? Like he was in my mind, I knew he was special. And we talk about it all the time. Like I recruited him like a blue chip athlete. I did. I just saw something special in him. And one thing led to another. And, Justin was like, he became a brother, right? And so at the end of the day, I brought him along. He became our basically, you were like our music director as a student, weren't you, Justin? Like he was the one that really, I mean, we had some musicians, like for instance, before Justin came, we had Sarah Murphy,
Yes, I remember.
Timmons, I think now, and then we had a couple of other ones that kind of helped in the media. But then when Justin came, he kind of, helped, standardize, just really give it that flavor, and it was nice because we actually had some people to pull from, and then Justin was there with me, and then when the time came for me to leave, it was just a natural. Hey, they handed off to Justin, and he took it and ran, and so so that's he took it where it needed to go, and the rest is history. So yeah, that's my part of the story.
I love it. I love it. So Span, talk to us about okay, so now you're the director of One Voice. Talk us about kind of its growth from that point on.
Well, it was crazy how God works. I joined One Voice as a freshman and was in it all 4 years. And my senior year is when Mike left, and I got hired at Cedarville to do One Voice and also the Heart Song. And so because of the way Heart Song worked, I started thinking, well, what if we started touring more with One Voice and going to other churches and stuff like that? And so we had an ensemble that we had created probably my sophomore year. That was because the choir was getting so big, we couldn't take the choir everywhere. So we created a smaller group.
Right.
And we first started partnering with different churches that we were connected to through Mike. Then the next thing was some other school choirs that we connected to through Nick'em Slick and other groups like that. And I think when things really started to take off was when we decided we wanted to record an album. And that was Darius's freshman year.
Okay.
There's no here, so I just referenced him like everybody knows. Everybody knows Darius.
Right.
And he had written some original songs. I had written some original songs. And so he said, well, why don't we start recording? And it kind of just took off from there. God opened doors left and right. Choir went from, I think when I took over the choir, it was around 120 people or something like that, 125 people, which was already huge. And
Right.
I think my last year at Cedarville, we hit 320. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like 10% of the student body was in One Voice.
Right.
So
it was the hottest flavor. It was, I think at one point it was like the premier activity for students to be a part of outside of the Christian ministry stuff. Like it was after class activities, they wanted to come to gospel choir. And it was, I mean, we had consistent rehearsals.
We rehearsed
right?
twice
a week.
Twice
Yeah.
a week. And we'd be upset if Justin sent an email saying he canceled it. We didn't
Yeah,
care if it was a holiday, bad weather. We hated it.
People would be upset. And the crazy thing is, I remember because whenever the teams would go out and stuff, we had these cards that would say, like, how did you hear about Cedarville University? And they had to add One Voice to the card because people kept writing it in. It was just crazy how God worked in that way. But it was awesome. I also met my wife in One Voice. So that's a whole nother beautiful thing that came out of it.
You know, Brianna, I was just sitting there thinking, I have to make sure I mention, April, her maiden name was Lucas, and Coggins, I believe, April Lucas Cobbins. I definitely have to mention her because I mean she was a senior the first year, and so she actually is on record as the co-founder, and she kind of kept me sane, and just it was nice. And then Justin, one of the things that having worked in student life, you got to keep the students engaged, right? And one of the things that I had to be very careful of was figuring out how to keep it so that Justin could stay engaged. And so I basically handed the ensemble off to him. I said, look, you go ahead and do that. And I will never forget, he spent thousands of dollars on a concert in the chapel. You don't remember that, Justin? You don't remember that ensemble concert that cost like a couple $1,000s?
I do remember. And we had people from my church came down on a bus for that concert. Ensemble concert. That was
it was the guy who was in charge of production services. We were just saying, can we have this? He was like, sure. And when I got the bill, it was one of those Alvin and the Chipmunk moments. It was like I couldn't yell Justin's name fast enough. I was like, Justin.
It was an investment. It was an investment. Sowed some seeds that bear much fruit.
Listen, and look what God did with it. So Mike and April are the co-founders. Justin takes it to the next level. I come in, my freshman year was your first year working there, right, Justin?
Yeah, it was my first full year. So I took over the choir at the second half of my senior year. And Mike gave me a list of the students that he had been recruiting before he left. And he said, there's one you got to look out for, Briana DuPree. He said, she plays hand percussion. And he was like, when she comes, you need to look out for Briana. And so I remember I was already waiting for you, Bree, when you showed up. And Bree came ready to audition for One Voice. And let me tell this story. Bree, I got to tell this story.
I know you are. Go ahead.
I had not really gotten to know Bree. I had met her, but I hadn't gotten to know her, just told her the audition dates. And we're sitting there doing the auditions for One Voice. And these girls come in. It was Bree's slot. I saw Bree's name on the slot, but these girls come in carrying her congas. I mean, there were like 3 of them carrying the congas, the stands, the bunk. They set them up, got them all ready. And then Bree walked in, just to play. She didn't have to touch them. They was all set up and ready. And she played them congas. I mean, she wore them out. And it was at that moment that I said, Jeff Cook is going to be done. Dr. Cook had been playing hand percussion for OneVoice.
Yes, I remember that.
Too about OneVoice is that we had like faculty involved in the choir. We had a trustee in the choir at one point. But yeah, Bree came in, she played, and then when she finished playing, that was the other thing. I thought the girls just helped her bring her congas, whatever. I was gonna help her tear them down. She finished playing. These girls came back in, broke down her congas, packed them up in the bags. I said, "Who is this?"
He called me. He called me asking. He said, "Michael, Briana DuPree." I said, "Oh, what about her?" He said, "I've met her." I said, "What?"
She came with an entourage.
Oh my gosh. So the story behind this entourage was, my mother raised me with, have some, some wisdom about me. And so I only met Justin one time. And so I didn't know him. And I'm gonna be alone in this room with him playing conga. So some of the girls in my hall and I were talking, and they were like, "Hey, we'll just do it on the way to like Chuck's. Chuck's was our dining area." So he said, "Hey, we'll go with you." And so when I got the key from Justin to get the congas, they offered to help, and the rest is history. And they stayed afterwards, make sure I was good. They stayed outside, make sure I was safe, and then we went on to dinner. So, but that's how I got involved with OneVoice, and it became literally we all call it kind of the lifesaver of our time in college. Not that I had a great college experience, but it was just that we couldn't wait for Monday and Thursday nights. I mean, we could not wait because rehearsals. We talked about ensemble was one you had to audition for, but the choir you didn't have to audition. You could show up. You could not be able to sing at all. But worship those rehearsals really became like worship opportunities. Yes, Justin would stop, and sometimes he had to stop us from going too deep in because he's like, "Y'all need to learn your parts." But we couldn't wait to get there. But a bunch of us would go out to dinner, go to dinner at the dining hall right beforehand, all walk over together, get there early, hang out in Justin's office. Like we just loved. It was a sense of community. It was a sense of worship. I look forward to Monday and Thursday nights the same way I look forward to church on Sunday. I said if I want to keep going, I need to keep going. And I think that's the culture that you, Mike, and you, Justin, really cultivated as a part of this choir. So I was thinking, hey, we have every year for the Embrace Collective. I talked about at the beginning of this video. And if you need to, you can go back and watch that once we're done. But the Embrace Collective, we host a conference every year in January. And it's really kind of become our convocation. So Embrace is a parachurch ministry, but it's become an opportunity for our partners all over the nation to come together. So as I was thinking about 2026, I said, you know what? It's been a long time since I've sang with or played with some of the folks from OneVoice. What would it look like to do a reunion in Orlando? See who can make it. See who can come. No pressure. What would it look like when I think of when you think of a OneVoice reunion? You guys tell me, Mike. Tell me what you're thinking about, what you're dreaming of, who you hope to see. Call out some folks.
Shoot, I definitely want to see the original cast of characters. So I definitely want to see April, Crystal. I would love to see Sarah. I would love to see Brandon. I would love to see the team that I took to Australia. NASA, David Taylor, like just DT, as we call them, DT. And I definitely would like to see the old crew, but then I just would like to see anybody that ever just was a part of it. And Bree, to your point, that was the dream. That was the vision, right? It was one of those things, and it's one of those things that it's the whole idea that sometimes the Lord just plants seeds and you don't really have a clue as to how it's going to go. And the gospel choir was, when we first really thought about it, it was to be one of those things that the students of color could feel seen. And at the time, this is back in 2001. We didn't have that terminology. Like, I want to feel seen. I want to be able to have a safe space. We didn't really talk that, but that's what it was. It was a place where no matter what was going on in the week, they knew that on Mondays and which I find it awesome and dope that y'all kept the rehearsals on Mondays and Thursdays. But because that's what it was. That was what it was when we first started. And It just makes me feel good. So anybody that was ever just a part of it, I would love to see. I would love to see if you were part of. And it's not really. What's funny is I love how our transition happened, Justin, because it wasn't like it was Mike's choir and then it was Justin's choir. It was the Lord's choir first of all, right? But then it was just like how the transition just naturally happened. Like I feel like we couldn't have planned it any better, how it just worked. Like it worked where I left right during the time when you were still a student, and it just naturally happened. And it just, even just the point that Briana, you were on the way, right? Like you were,
Right.
Yep, we're not gonna do that tonight. Nope, no, because you were on the way. So everything just, woo, my God. What So I do have a confession. I'll make this confession.
Yes, sir.
Justin, because in the choir room, we used to have the piano, because Cedarville did everything grand. So it was a grand piano that was rehearsal. And I insisted on keeping the top of it open for no reason, but whenever I started getting full on rehearsal, I could slide my head into it and it not bother anybody else. And we would have moments and Justin would just be playing and he'd be like, there might go again.
Oh man, I remember there were rehearsals that I remember people just were laying on the floor. And what makes it such a big deal is that was not Cedarville. So
right.
When I think about OneVoice, and I've told people this before, I never really thought of OneVoice as a choir so much as I thought of it as like a family that just happened to sing, because a lot of us came from different kind of backgrounds in Cedarville. And I know for me, freshman year was hard because I was a city kid. I remember I couldn't even sleep some nights because it was too quiet. I went from living in the city and hearing sirens and stuff like that at night to cornfields with dead silence. And so for whatever reason, OneVoice was like, just gave you a piece of home. And what was so cool about it was, it wasn't, the intention was that it would be that for the students of color, but it wasn't just that for students of color. It became that for everybody. Like, Cedarville, I think when I came to Cedarville, it was less than 2% people of color. So for us to have that many people in the choir, it was majority white students. But even for those students, it wasn't like, oh, they're horning in on our thing. No, they were part of the fam.
Right.
And,
absolutely.
And we would always discover people's backgrounds in OneVoice, because there was a certain level, especially if your background was a little more expressive, there was an amount of suppression you had to do in chapel. Because I'll never forget fall Bible conference, my freshman year, they started singing Lion of Judah. I don't know if y'all remember Lion of Judah.
That's the one.
That song ministered
drums.
Yes. And it was my first, it was my first experience in Cedarville. It was the first night, and they started singing that song, and I said, "Oh yes, God!" And everybody turned around and looked like,
"Yep."
And I realized, and it was at that moment I realized, "Oh, I'm not at home anymore."
Right.
But you could be in OneVoice, and you could express. You could decide not to say
used to do it, and them things used to express themselves. My God.
Oh yes, I would discover all kind of stuff in OneVoice, and so it just became a safe space. And we would have people. That's the thing that always blows people's mind, is when I tell people we had 300 and something in the choir, because we never had that many in chapel. And that was because we had people who came to OneVoice just for the rehearsals. Right. They didn't really want to perform. They just wanted to be a part of the community. Right. And there would be times where people would be going through something. That's what I loved about our students. They'd be going through something. They'd be sitting in chucks talking about what they were going through. And they'd be like, you should just come to OneVoice. They weren't in the choir. They had never been. But they would just show up to rehearsal and get blessed.
It's
and
true.
They were bringing people with them. So
that's what you used to say they just come to get their fix.
They
did.
I used
to be upset about that. I was like, how come they don't sing in chapel? You're like, Michael, they don't want to sing in chapel. They just want to come get their fix and then move on with the rest of the week.
Can you get their praise on? And you know what? There's something we say at our church here in Orlando. My pastor says a lot. He says it's a privilege to be in a place where God is moving. And I feel like that's what OneVoice was. You just knew God had his hand on it. And so we had kids in our gospel choir who hated gospel music, but they still wanted to be there because community. And eventually they learned to like gospel music because that was what we did. But they came to be a part of the community. And to this day, the fact that we're here, that community continued long after Cedarville.
Sure.
I think One Voice has not been a choir it hasn't been quite 10 years yet, but it's been a long time. And we're still connected. I still get to talk to One Voice students either on the phone, via text, Marco Polo, here on Facebook. There's a connection that leaving Ohio did not break. And so that's why I'm really excited about the reunion, even though I know not everybody can afford to hop on a plane and come to Orlando, but I'm excited about whoever comes because they're family. And it's like having a family reunion,
Absolutely. I love it. I love what you said about the family aspect, because some of my best friends to this day, you two included, came from the choir. Like, that we still talk. You guys know we had that Marco Polo with us. Darius is on, Sean. Like, we've been talking every day for what, 8 years, 9 years?
Mm-hmm.
and before that, still in
Really?
communication. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes, it's been a long time because that started before I moved to Orlando, and I've been here for 8 years.
Wow.
So still connected even before this call. I was watching some of the old videos of us singing. If you can type in "See You One Voice" on YouTube and see some of our old videos, see how young we look, and but see some of the fits that we had, and you can see those publicly, especially our ensembles. But I think it's going to be a super awesome opportunity. So the conference is going to be January 16th through the 18th. It's intentionally Martin Luther King Day weekend. So to give you guys kind of that travel day, you do not have to attend the whole conference. We welcome you to attend the whole conference, because a little caveat to our conversation, I need you all to know that on Friday evening, our guest speaker is going to be Dr. Mike Dorsey himself. Will be the guest speaker on Friday evening. So you just want to get there early. You want to be a part of it. We wanted to come on here and kind of give you some of the details. I'm going to run through some of the details, let the guys fill in whatever I missed. But we're asking everybody, if you can, arrive by Thursday, January 15th. Kind of get comfortable, get settled. We want you to find yourself in whatever space you need to find yourself in. If you need help finding hotels or Airbnbs, feel free to DM me and send me a message, and I'll put my contact information at the end. Then we're going to have 2 rehearsals. Now, you guys know a Justin Spann rehearsal. Okay. Justin can work miracles in just a few hours. And so he's going to work some miracles with us, because I know some of us have not sung in a choir in years. Some of us might not even be familiar with gospel music anymore, but we're going to bring out some of the oldies. I'll let Justin kind of figure out all of the set list and all that, but we're going to do 2 rehearsals. We're going to do one rehearsal on Friday morning at 10 a.m. And then we're going to do another rehearsal on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So, and those rehearsals will last a few hours a piece, and we're just going to kind of have a good time, kind of get comfortable with singing again, comfortable with our parts, learning the lyrics again to some of these songs. We're actually hosting conference this year at my home church here in Orlando, the Experience Christian Center, under the leadership of my pastor, Bishop Derek L. McCrae. So very thankful for him allowing us to host it there. But it's going to be a phenomenal time of worship. And so we're asking you, if you can, get here Thursday, get comfortable. We do have an early arrival party that evening if you want to show up for that. But again, just get here. We're going to have rehearsal Friday and Saturday. Then the actual conference will be Saturday evening at 7 p.m. It's going to be a worship concert. You guys know, all of you have been part of One Voice before. You know how we do. So we're just going to go in. We're going to have a set list, but we never know. There's been many occasions where Justin has ran off and stopped directing the choir, and we had no director. Thankfully, Mike will be there, so he'll be able to step in if we need some help. Darius will be able to step in.
Listen, hold on. I want to say, if anybody runs off, it's the choir. I remember multiple times where I went to bring in the choir and I turn around and nobody's singing, because everybody's in their own place of worship, and I'm by myself. I only ran off a couple of times. One was at your church, Mike. You remember when we came to Mount Pleasant?
Let me tell y'all something. So these things came to Mount Pleasant twice. Y'all came twice, didn't you?
No, we did 2 concerts while we were there. One for the young adults, and then we did Sunday morning.
Right.
I feel like y'all came again. You came 2 different times, so. I thought. Okay. Anyway, they came and people were reluctant because, they were like, I don't know, whatever. I said, no, they about it. Do you know those people acted like they were malnourished? They acted like they had never experienced the Kabbalah God, that they had never had anything, because then things came and wrecked the house. I said, go back to Ohio, please. Listen, I said, go back to Ohio.
The reason I will never forget that concert is because we were singing so hard and went in. My watch flew off and into the audience. You remember that?
Yes.
I was shouting so hard. My watch flew off my
Oh,
wrist.
that was great.
Not only
That
did
was,
your
you know,
watch fly off, Justin, but you also sprinted out of the sanctuary into the hallway. So he went off the stage, sprint. We were finished the song. He ran off the stage, upstairs, and through the hallway to go give God praise. And we were just left. We're like, I
Yes.
guess we're done.
Listen, I didn't want to disrupt the service. If I learned one thing in Cedarville, it was that I could praise. I just couldn't disrupt. I did that at OneVoice concerts in Cedarville too. I remember Mike, the first big concert we did with Jonathan Dunn. We broke 2 sets of risers, first of all. So the music department was upset. But we sang, if the Lord has been good to you, say yes.
Say yeah.
Yes, one too many times. And I'll never forget it. I ran out into the hallway to give God some praise. And don't you know, I ran right into Dr. Dixon.
Dr. Dixon.
Like I ran into him.
Who he was the then president, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that was his final year as president. And the funny thing is, Dr. Dixon didn't say anything. He just looked at me as I was, going to the floor. He just put his hand out. This was the funny thing. I said, Dr. Dixon, he just put his hand out like this and then kept right on walking. I said, I'm gonna get expelled, but I had to can't help it.
Oh Lord. So I'm looking forward to moments like that at this reunion where after we get our parts, because Justin will be quick to quench. We call it quenching when we have to be like, okay, don't think about Charmaine. I hope Charmaine watches this because she's always tell us, don't think about the words, just sing the song. Because anytime we thought about the words, you would lose us, especially ensemble rehearsals. If it was a really difficult song, Justin would get so mad at us because he'd be like, y'all, we can't go in because you don't have your parts.
You want to go into the Holy of Holies, get your part. Right.
So we're going to try to have a balance of both and during this week. So again, we're asking you, arrive on Thursday, be a part of the rehearsals on Friday and Saturday. We're going to try to keep ourselves focused. Amen. So just get our parts. And then come Saturday night, anything could happen.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. We might lose all of our directors because everybody, y'all saw Mike just went in just on this discussion. So we could just lose about just everybody at the church. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. And we want you to be in the room. So I'm asking everybody, if you would, RSVP by Friday, December 12th. And you can do that with me. You can DM me at Briana DuPree_ if you have my number. Text me if you need my number. Text me if you have any questions at all about the reunion. Please message me. Justin is a worship pastor here in Orlando, so you know how holidays are for worship pastors. So I'm asking you, you can talk to him about the reunion, but if you have any questions about details or the RSVP, please message me so that he can do what he needs to do at his church in these next few weeks. And so anything else you fellas have to say about this potential reunion? We're going to be calling out some folks, texting y'all, emailing y'all, DMing y'all, saying, hey, what do you think about pulling up for this reunion? And we encourage you to be a part of the whole conference. The conference is 3 days, evening services only. Like I said, Dr. Mike will be preaching Friday evening. Saturday night will be our reunion concert. Sunday night will be our revival night, worship night, and I'll be preaching to close it out. So it's going to be a great 3 days. So I encourage you, just come and stay. But even if you just want to come to OneVoice and then go to Disney, I won't be mad. I won't be mad at all. It's a beautiful time to come as well. Anything else I left out, y'all? Anything else you want to say?
Have more fun. You're gonna have more fun hanging out with us though at Disney, though. I'm just saying.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
But I mean,
stand in line. Yes.
You don't have to stand in line.
The only thing I would say is if you're on here and you're like, man, I really want to come, but I know I can't. Bree, correct me if I'm wrong, but we are streaming, aren't we?
We are streaming.
Right. So you don't have to miss the reunion. I want to see as many people as possible from OneVoice participating. If you can't participate in person, then join us online because we are going to have a great time in the Lord. It's going to be time of connection and reunion. And for those of you who are living in the Midwest, let's be honest, it gives you a chance to get a break from the snow.
Right.
Come on down. We're a better place to go than sunny Orlando, Florida.
Yes, come on. It's going to be a great time. Dr. Mark, you got anything?
Look, I just want to see y'all in the place. It's one of the things I've become the uncle. I'm not going to claim grandfather. I'm the uncle of this group. And so, it's just so nice when you get to see everybody kind of operating in their thing, and the fact that God in eternity past knew what we were doing in eternity present and sees what's going to happen in eternity future, right? And so just seeing like how these things are starting to, like, the things showing up, like, Justin is the global worship pastor of a major ministry down in Florida. And, I'm looking at Bree and how she has a worldwide ministry. And I'm thinking of people like Darius, who is like, he just is blowing up the scene. I'm thinking about people like April and all the others that have come through the One Voice moment. Right. And I'm just excited. So if there's anything you can do to be a part, we definitely want to see you, because it's just I'm going to be full that weekend. I'm just going to let y'all know I'm going to be full. So y'all just going to have to just put up with it and just deal with it, because I'm going to be full.
Full all weekend long. We expect nothing less. We expect nothing less.
Well, again,
it's going to be a great time. I want to encourage you to be in the room. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not only are we going to be able to rehearse together, but we're also going to get to hang out. You guys know how rehearsals go. So we get to hang out, have a good time of worship together and fellowship together. We encourage you to come, bring family, make a little vacation out of it. In the past, when we've done this conference, people have come and just made it kind of an extended vacation. So we want to encourage you to be there. Again, RSVP by Friday, December 12th with me. That's where we're going to make a decision. This is happening regardless. So either we're going to have a full choir reunion or we're going to have a worship night with some One Voice specs in there. Regardless, we're going to have a time of worship together, but we would love to bring the choir back together. And our church has a set of congas, so I might come out of retirement for one song. I might come out of retirement.
Whatever.
One song. Conga ministry, yes.
So I might come out of retirement for one song, and then I don't know if Pastor Alicia's still on. She was shocked. We have a choir at our church, and I can't make rehearsals. They always talk about me because I share clips of us, for like my birthday party and One Voice and stuff. Of singing, but I can't make the rehearsals, and so but I will. Justin was the one to help me discover my inner soprano, to help me bring it out.
A Judy screen. You have a Judy screen.
I'm sorry.
You have a Judy screen.
A Judy screen.
A Judy scream.
Oh, yes.
So you got a Judy screen. So hopefully that makes the playlist, that makes the set list.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to experience that, because I wasn't in person when y'all did that at your birthday party. So I hope that makes the cut, because I want to see you arch your back.
Oh my.
Grab your ear.
Yes, and I'll say this then too, since we adding stuff. If you haven't been singing gospel music or doing anything like that for a while, I encourage you, if you're coming, start your conditioning now. Okay, because when we did Bree's birthday party, we had was it a 45-minute praise break?
Yes.
Listen, I had the time of my life and then couldn't walk the next day. So I
your Tylenols.
Get your conditioning in so your muscles are ready to go.
Listen, if you have ibuprofen 800s, go ahead and just make sure they in the bag. Yeah, because we used to be. We ain't the young chickens like we used to be. So don't let it fool you.
Oh Lord, yes.
You're gonna have to function the next day. Like your boss ain't gonna be. You going to a One Voice reunion ain't gonna be enough to get you off of stuff. So just the creeps are real. Uncle Arthur likes to visit, and you take it from me.
Talia just jumped on. She said, "Help Jesus." That's right, Talia. Get ready. Talia will be in the room for. She's one of the confirmed people. She'll be in the room for the reunion. So looking forward to seeing you.
Instigate a praise too.
Yes.
Praise. Yes, she is. Yeah, Justin. To your point, let's make sure when you're on the treadmill, you start incorporating your inclines.
Yes.
If you need to get on the stair climber, you may just want to start. You may just want to start doing it incrementally. Start with 2 minutes. And then by the time you get to January, if you can handle about 20 minutes of that, you may be halfway there.
You might be ready.
You might be ready.
You all see Justin's profile picture. Those of you who are watching via Justin's Facebook page, and you see him elevated into the air. That was a chapel service with One Voice when Justin just took one good leap and stayed in the air, and the photographer got it at just the right time. And I've seen Justin jump higher since then.
To this day, I'm convinced that I jumped and the Lord just held me. Just held me. because I had never jumped that high in my life, but I jumped.
This is what we put up with.
Lord.
This is what we put up with.
And he held me in
He held you. My God.
Okay,
my God, he held
we gotta
you.
get off of this. See? Anyway, the reunion again will be during
held up.
will be during Embrace Conference Orlando. See, we gotta get off, y'all. During Embrace Conference Orlando.
Held up. Been held up. Watch it.
You might finna get full, Bree. You gotta wrap it.
I tried, but both of y'all getting full together. Listen, this is what you have to look forward to. When I tell y'all this is really who we are outside of just a reunion. We just really love the Lord, and I think it's our love for the Lord that brought us together, even outside of OneVoice. It's our love for the Lord that's kept us together as friends and family, and that's really what made OneVoice special. That no matter what denomination you came from, what background you came from, we just really love Jesus. And whatever, some songs hit people differently. We call them praise buttons. That's what we called it when I was in OneVoice. Oh, yes. What's your praise button? I know for a while the blood was Mike's.
Oh, that's still mine. Don't you do it. Don't you do
and the love of God was Justin's. Yes. And mine is Grace.
Ooh, he loves me.
Ooh, he loves me.
Yeah, let's get off of that. Yes.
That's why he shed his blood to show that he loved me. My God.
Yeah.
Because of his grace and mercy.
Because of his grace and mercy.
Yes.
Them twins that follow me.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, no matter what situation I find myself in, they are right behind me.
Yes.
This is what the reunion
chasing me down.
Get ready. Get ready.
Y'all get ready. And even if you were not a part of OneVoice Gospel Choir, you're watching this, I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to be in the room for Embrace Conference Orlando. I think I say it every year, but I believe it every year. But this is probably going to be our best conference to date. I'm excited. We got a lot of things going on. We have some dance teams joining us this year from a couple different churches in Orlando that they'll be announced throughout the week. We'll have an official announcement for Dr. Mike, who will be preaching, like I said, on Friday night. Saturday night will be our reunion, and then Sunday night I will be preaching as well. So it's going to be just a time in God. So again, Embrace Conference Orlando is happening January 16th through the 18th. We're asking you if you want to be a part of this reunion. If you can, join us arrive by Thursday, January 15th. Maybe you say, Bree, I want to come, but I can't come on Thursday. Please still come. Do not take you not being there on Thursday mean that you can't be a part of it. Maybe you can only make one of the two rehearsals. Again, like I told y'all, Justin can work magic. Okay. And so we're gonna let Justin work his magic those 2 days, but our rehearsal is going to be Friday, January 16th at 10 a.m. and then another rehearsal on Saturday, January 17th at 10 a.m. with our reunion concert being that evening at 7 p.m. And we're asking everyone to RSVP by December 12th with me. You can DM me at Bree DuPree _ on Instagram, or if you have my number, just text me or send me a message on Facebook, wherever you're watching this, or you can send a message to the Embrace Collective page and I'll get back to you. And once you RSVP, we'll get you all the details about colors and all that stuff. Y'all know Justin had us wearing all types of colors. Okay. Yeah. My time at Cedarville, Justin. So I'll let Justin pick what our colors are going to be. And we'll get those out to y'all as soon as you RSVP. We'll let you know what our color scheme will be, because we're good for a color scheme.
Yes, it's gonna be bright. It's gonna be bright.
Yes. So we'll let Justin pick that, but it's gonna be a great time. Mike, Justin, thank you all. Not only for joining me tonight, but thank you for starting and continuing a choir that has brought so many people closer to God, closer to one another. And I'm looking forward to that evening being able to honor you both as well as April, if she could make it. Ashlyn, if she could make it as well. Ashlyn took over the choir after Justin left Cedarville. So we're looking forward to honoring all those who helped OneVoice be what it was. All right. Well, Amen. Good night, y'all. We hope to see you for this reunion. If you have any questions, again, please contact me and I'll be happy to answer your questions. We love y'all. Have a good night.
Y'all.
Good night, y'all.